What's crack-a-lackin', people? I just wanted to quickly touch upon a discussion here. Something that's been coming up more and more recently for some reason, but something that's mostly focused on the Nintendo Switch and more accurately on its version of Doom. The biggest two things that people have been focusing on are its downgrade in graphics when compared to other versions, as well as its frame rate when compared to other versions. All I want to say to that is neither matters. All that matters is that the core experience comes across as, good enough to play. But taking the Switch into consideration, I'm not quite sure what people were expecting in terms of what these big budget games would look and run like on the system. I think by now it's pretty obvious that although the Switch is a very capable machine that can bring exceptional looking titles, those titles will look exceptional for that machine alone. And that's the same for any console ever made. The Switch was never going to be able to stand up to the graphical grunt of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Has anyone seen the size of the Switch compared to those machines? In reality, the console is a powerful gaming tablet, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's what it's meant to be, and then some. If you buy the machine, I feel that's how you should view it, regardless of the home console marketing side of it. This is, as well as, it arguably being the most diverse gaming console ever made. This is why the Switch is selling. It can appeal to all types of gamers, and games like Doom and Skyrim is, in its wonderful portable form, greatly add to that appeal. But going back to what I want to highlight, is that anyone who looks down at such technically inferior ports have either only just started gaming or are forgetting that virtually every game they have ever played is most likely an inferior version. And I say inferior with quotations, an inferior version of what could be achieved on another platform at that time of the game's release. But let's be honest, we're talking about portable games here, right? Because this, is what's gotten people excited the most about Doom, is the awesome fact that there will be a very, very competent version of this game on a truly play anywhere, play anytime device. Another thing that people laugh at is the portable nature of the Switch and how you feel that with it being portable that you envision this console being played outdoors somewhere only. Well, speak for yourselves. As you know by now,
I got 5 kids to feed.
And me being able to play the Switch anywhere in the house is nothing short of a rare blessing from Chrome, something the Wii U nearly achieved. I play the Switch in portable mode probably more than on the TV, and that's because the TV is always in use in my house. This is the portable nature of the Switch for me, allowing me to game even when the TV is in use primarily in the house. This is in itself a revelation, perhaps not for some, but certainly for me and many others. Anyway, gotten off track again. Lesser graphical and performance versions of games have always been a thing from the dawn of video games. Hell, skipping the endless amount of 80s conversions here, that we had. If you wanted an arcade version of a game on consoles like Street Fighter or something, then you'd play it on your Super Nintendo or Sega Mega Drive. Each of those games, as well ported as they were still inferior to the arcade version. Hell, anyone who owned a Nintendo Wii played a vastly graphically inferior version of other console games on that system, purely because that was the system they owned, as well as the Wii adding its own unique spin to said titles. Look no further than games like Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, FIFA, Madden, Tiger Woods, whatever third-party games appeared on the Wii. But once again, we're talking about portable gaming here, a realm of hardwares where graphically inferior versions of console games are an everyday thing. Yet these handhelds and their games continue to sell in their millions, regardless of how technically inferior their versions of the games were or are. You want to know why they still sell? People love having them portable. It's as simple as that. And for the most part, you were willing to accept them as inferior versions and happily play them. So why is the Switch any different? If anything, this is the closest a dedicated handheld console has essentially ever been to what is currently available on home consoles. To moan that Doom has worse textures or the frame rate isn't even as high as other technically superior versions is not only to nitpick, but it's also to miss the whole point in this version and to forget what the Switch offers. If you've never played Doom before and only own a Switch, then this version, if you fancy it, is a must buy. If you've played Doom before but want a console portable version, then this is the best version on the market. If you've played Doom before on more powerful hardware and feel that you don't either want to play it again or couldn't for whatever reason handle the downgrading graphics and performance, then simply don't play it. There's nothing wrong with that either. But please don't ever scoff at graphically inferior versions of games just because there are better options out there. Many people don't have those other options, or as I said, are more than willing to take the hit on many things to play on the platform of their choice. Do you remember when Street Fighter 4 released on the 3DS? I don't remember anyone chewing that game out because it wasn't 720p and running at 60 frames per second like the console versions. People were stunned that the 3D could even achieve this type of game and went out and bought it purely for its portable nature. Hell, I did. I also done the same for Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the Game Boy Advance, which was a stunning conversion for that hardware, even though I already owned the Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 versions of the game. Why are people playing 3DS titles like the Lego series, Spider-Man's, Skylanders, Resident Evils, Sonic Racings, Pro Evolution Soccer, Mario Kart, Splinter Cells, Ghost Recons, etc, etc. People just love portable versions of games, even if there are better console versions. For me, I always judge a piece of hardware on its own merits, not on what every other device can do. For the Switch to be running such a competent version of Doom and running it well, it takes me back to those days where developers were met with hardware limitations but found ways to be creative and achieve their goals and then some. The Switch can be played any way you want. Even if you never played the Switch version of Doom on the big screen, that's absolutely fine. Treat it as a handheld game and nothing more. If your hands get cramped whilst playing the game with the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, then prop the console up, take the Joy-Cons off and play it like that, or place the Joy-Cons in their brackets, or hell, even use a Pro Controller if you got one. Honestly, no reason to hate on this portable version of Doom, and no reason to hate on any other portable version of a game, unless of course it's buggy and broken as hell when you know it shouldn't be. We take performance hits on virtually every game we play on consoles and portables, because believe it or not, there's other platforms out there, being the PC, which generally have better versions, but of course there will be levels of performance that borderline on should this product even be released. But let's be honest, this isn't the 80s and 90s anymore. How often does that happen? And as I said, the Switch is the closest to console portable gaming we have ever got. We should be doing nothing more than celebrating this fact, especially when developers make the effort. Now make my day, Blizzard, and give me a portable version of Diablo 3, or preferably Diablo 2. As always, thanks for listening all, and I very much look forward to your own thoughts below. Peace.